Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, I'm going to go over all the games for 30th of March 2021. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. Alright, other than that, let's get started with the games. Alright, first matchup is Edmonton versus Montreal. Montreal returning after a week off due to COVID protocol. And no Eric Stahl yet. I believe he still has another day or two left on his protocol. And I believe Cole Caulfield has about the same. Alright, Montreal wins their first matchup since their return, 4-0 over Edmonton. 18 seconds into the first, Jesperi Kotkaniemi scores his fifth from Paul Byron and Arturi Lehkonen. At 3:23 of the first, Lehkonen scores his third from Paul Byron and Joel Edmondson. Then at 15:58 of the first, Brendan Gallagher's 13th from Shea Weber and Phil Deneau. Then at 17:54 of the second, Tomas Tatar scores his seventh from Deneau and Gallagher. At 4:47 of the first, I forgot to mention, William Lagesson fights Josh Anderson. Would be an interesting fight. Alright. Montreal outshot Edmonton 32-17. Edmonton won the faceoff dot 51-49. Edmonton 0 for 3 on the power play. Montreal 0 for 4. Penalty minutes 13-11, 13 for Edmonton. Hits were 33-23 in favor of Edmonton. Blocks 18-8 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways 14-3, 14 for Montreal. Koskinen 28 saves, 875 save percentage and loss. And Carey Price a 17 save shutout. On to New Jersey versus Boston. Now Boston, from what I understand, has not had a single shorthanded goal. A single even strength goal against New Jersey all season so far, and this is their sixth matchup. This seems to be their kryptonite this year. But not tonight. Boston wins this one 5-4 in shootout. Minute 28 into the game, Miles Wood scores his 11th from PK Subban. At 5:55 of the first, Nick Ritchie ties it, his 10th of the year from David Krejci and Craig Smith. At 9:34 of the first, Michael McLeod scores his 5th from Jesper Boqvist and Ryan Murray. At 3:45 of the second, Travis Zajac scores his 5th from Jesper Bratt and Ryan Murray. At 15:48 of the second, Brad Marchand scores 13th on a power play from Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci. Then at 17:06 of the second, Kyle Palmieri's 8th unassisted. At 10:22 of the third, Charlie McAvoy's 4th from Smith and Marchand. Then at 16-minute mark of the third, Boston ties it, sending it to overtime. Matt Grizzly scores his 3rd from Smith and Krejci. Now nothing in overtime, no scoring. Charlie Coyle scores a shootout-winning goal, giving Boston the needed 2 points. Boston outshot New Jersey 48-35. Faceoffs were 51-49 in favor of Boston. New Jersey 0 for 3 on the power play, Boston 1 for 2. Penalty minutes 8-6, Boston with 8. Hits were 24-22 in favor of Boston. Blocks 12-8 in favor of New Jersey. Giveaways 8-3, New Jersey with 8. Mackenzie Blackwood 44 saves, 917 save percentage and loss. He had a really good game. He really did. Unfortunately, I got the loss, but it is just how it works sometimes. And Halak had 31 saves, 886 save percentage for the win. Alright, on to Washington versus the New York Rangers. Rangers win this one after losing the last one. They won this one 5-2. It did not look like it was going to be a good game for them to start. 2:23 into the first, TJ Oshie's 9th on the power play for Nicholas Backstrom and John Carlson. At 4:22 of the first, Nick Dowd's 7th from Garnett Hathaway and Brendan Dillon. At 15:36 of the first, Philip Cheadle adds his 6th of the year unassisted. So, no scoring in the second. Third period, Rangers take over the scoring. 4:10 into the third, Capo Caca's 5th from Ryan Strome and Artemi Panarin. Then at 6:32, Adam Fox from Panarin and Ryan Lindgren. Then at 15:41, Panarin scores his 9th from Brendan Smith. I'm thinking of Dillon from Capitals all of a sudden for some reason. At 19:25 of the third, Pavel Buchnevich scores his 14th shorthanded from Lindgren. So the game-winning goal would be going to Adam Fox. Alright. Washington outshot the Rangers 32-27. They beat them in the faceoff dot 56-44. Washington 1 for 3 on the power play. New York 0 for 2. Penalty minutes 16-6. There is a misconduct in there. I forget who it went to. I want to say it was Hathaway for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong. The hits were 19-14 in favor of the Rangers. Blocks 13-11 in favor of the Rangers. Giveaways 7-6. Rangers with 7. Vanacek, I misspelled that. 22 saves, 846 save percentage for the loss. And Shesterkin, 30 saves, 938 save percentage for the win. Now we're on to Columbus versus Tampa. Columbus needs points at this point. They really desperately need them if they want to stay in this race. Then you have Tampa, who is fighting for the top spot in this division, which is very cramped all of a sudden. And they are on a current 2-game losing streak. If they lose this one, it would be their first 3-game losing streak of the year. And they hit that 3-game losing streak, and Columbus gets a needed 2 points. Columbus wins 3-1. No scoring in the first. In second period, 10:49 in, Oliver Bjorkstrand's 13th from Zach Werenski and Jack Roslovic. At 19:28, David Savard's first from Alexander Texier and Nick Foligno. At 4:12 of the third, Tampa gets their one and only goal, Matthew Joseph's 10th of the year, having a great year there too, from Luke Schenn and Andreas Borgman. At 18:29 of the third, Cam Atkinson adds his 13th from Nick Foligno, making it 3-1, your final score. Tampa outshot Columbus 38-21. Face-offs 54-46 in favor of Tampa. No power plays for Columbus. Tampa 0 for 1, so Columbus were the only 2 penalty minutes in the game. Hits were 27-23 in favor of Tampa. Blocks 13-6 in favor of Columbus. Giveaways 2-0, 2-2 Tampa. Merzlikins 37 saves, 974 save percentage for the win, and McElhaney 18 saves, 900 save percentage for the loss. On to Detroit versus Florida. Now, I didn't touch on it last time, but Florida has lost Aaron Ekblad for the rest of the year, and no word on whether or not he'll be ready for the for camp next season. But as of right now, last game he fell awkwardly. His leg got stuck underneath him, and it caused a fracture of his left leg. I didn't say exactly which bones last I had heard, but he has had to have surgery to fix it and is going to be out for the rest of the year. And they are currently without Alexander Barkov as well. Some big losses, but Barkov is not expected to be out long term. That's the good news for that one, at least. But Florida won this one 4-1. 17 seconds is all it took for Florida to score the first goal. Jonathan Huberdeau's 14th from Mason Marchment. Then 11:27, Carter Verhaeghe's 16th from Anthony Duclair. Then at 12:25, Brett Connolly scores his 2nd of the year from Gustav Forsling. At this point, Detroit pulled their goalie. Tomas Greiss will play the rest of the way. At 7:29 of the second, Philip Zadina scores his 4th on the power play from Dylan Larkin and Phil Hronik. Then at 12:11, Verhaeghe scores his 17th of the year, 2nd of the game from Owen Tippett. Verhaeghe continuing that amazing year for Florida. Seems like a really dang good signing now, doesn't it? Alright, shots on goal were 36-33 in favor of Detroit. Face-offs 51-49 in favor of Detroit. Power play 1 for 4 for Detroit, 0 for 4 for Florida. 8 penalty minutes each. Hits were 29-27 in favor of Florida. Blocks 14-11 in favor of Detroit. Giveaways 11-10, Florida with 11. Like I said, Picard, 5 saves, 625 save percentage, was pulled for Greiss, who had 24 saves, 960 save percentage. And Bobrovsky, 35 saves, 972 save percentage for the win. On to Carolina versus Chicago. Carolina fighting for the top spot, and Chicago fighting for their playoff life. Chicago won this one, getting the 2 points they needed. No scoring in the first, 29 seconds into the second. Dylan Strom's 6th from Kirby Dach and Connor Murphy. And yes, Kirby Dach has returned. He returned, I believe, 2, maybe 3 games ago. But this is his first point, so good to see him back and producing. At 4:02 of the second, Alex DeBrincat's 19th on the power play from Patrick Kane. At 15:41, Carolina makes it interesting, but they would not get the extra one to make it even more interesting. Andrei Svechnikov scores his 10th from Brady Shea and Vincent Trocheck. Let me know in the comments what you think. To me, I feel like Svechnikov has had a good year, but I feel like he has not produced to what a lot of people expected him to this year at the year he had last year. Like I said, he has had a good year. It's just he has not had that spectacular year like we expected after his breakout year last year. I would figure he'd be around the 17, 18, 19 goal mark at this point, honestly. But, like I said, it's still a good year. It's not like it's a terrible year for him. It's just he has not scored as much as I had expected him to, honestly. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know why. Alright, and for the shots on goal, Carolina won this category 32-16. Face-offs 64-36 in favor of Carolina. Power play 0 for 1 for Carolina, 1 for 2 for Chicago. 4 penalty minutes to 2, Carolina with 4. 28-27 the hits in favor of Chicago. Blocks 19-8 in favor of Chicago. Giveaways 11-7, Chicago with 11. Nedeljkovic had 14 saves, 875 save percentage in the loss. And Lankinen 31 saves, 969 save percentage in the win. Another great game for Lankinen. On to our last game of the evening, Dallas versus Nashville. Nashville wins this one 3-2. Dallas missing out on another important second point, especially since they are now chasing Nashville, who is the 4th place team, the last playoff team for that division. No scoring in the first, 6-12 into the second. Jason Robertson scores his 7th for Denis Gurianov and Miro Heiskanen, continuing his great rookie season as Jason Robertson. I'd say that's one of the few bright points for Dallas so far this year. Other than maybe Joe Pavelski on the power play. That's been kind of ridiculous so far this year. Ridiculous good. 9:04 into the second, Roman Jossi's 4th on the power play from Kelly Yarncroc and Eli Tolvanen. 11:02 into the second, Roope Hintz scores his 11th on the power play from Miro Heiskanen and John Klingberg. Then in the third period, Nashville ties it 4:05 in. Yarncroc scores his 11th from Luke Kunin and Michael Granlund. Then a minute 29 into overtime is all it took for Nashville to win. Tolvanen's 9th from Victor Arvidsson and Alexander Carrier. Now Tolvanen finally showing that scoring touch that Nashville had hoped he showed 2 years ago. So, better late than never, I guess. At least he's doing it now when it matters most, because it's helping them get into the playoffs at this point. Alright, Dallas outshot Nashville 35-26. Dallas beat him in the faceoff dot 59-41. Both teams 1 for 1 on the power play with 2 penalty minutes each. Hits were 28-23 in favor of Dallas. Blocks 10-6 in favor of Nashville. Giveaways 10-6, Nashville with 10. Khudobin 23 saves, 885 save percentage, and Saros 33 saves, 943 save percentage in the win. There you go. That's all the games for today. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you think about Svechnikov's year so far. And other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my subscribers for subscribing. And make sure to like the video as well, because it helps get me out there more. The more likes we have, the more the videos get out there for people to see in the searches and such. So help me out with those likes. And other than that, make sure to share as well, and I will see you on next video. Bye, everybody.